chasing down on his brother. Now, Donnie has had an astounding second half of the season, and he's not just going to move over for his brother. No way. He wants to take the wins.
Yeah, he's taking victories left, right, and centre. Every time he doesn't get involved in the fracas, that's normally when he takes the victory. There you can see Wade Van Zimmeren's car also stricken on the side after big damage, after going into the back end, I think, of Ben Morganhout. So a lot of cars being taken out by that incident. The COC is not going to be too happy about that little incident. They'll sort that all out in between the racing. We're not worried about that right now. All we're worried about is which of these red Corvettes is going to cross the line first.
And the other thing to note is, because of where Wade Van Zimmeren's car is and where all the rest of the cars is, almost the entire track is under yellows, apart from this corner.
Let's see if we can make a move here on this corner. White line rule, as always, comes into effect there, but no big dive up the inside from Jaco Correa. Donnie Correa hangs on, and I think he's going to take this checkered flag. He'll be very happy with the fact that he nearly got taken out, or he nearly took himself out when he took the ELT Jag out of proceedings across the line to complete another lap. And these two are absolutely hauling.
Third place looks like he's heating up because the Stallion seems to be fading off the pace. Wilford is definitely closing him down in the Fuchs Titan Hot Wheels Mustang, and it's been a bit of a turnaround for his season as well, because he's started to show real good form once he stepped out of the Jaguar into the Mustang. Mustang has been all good luck for him.
So these Goodyear tyres are now starting to feel the effects of race number one. And as they go around, the last time they actually went around there, they started to drift a bit coming out of engine corner. So really pushing it to the limit. You can see massive crowds here in Cape Town coming to support the Westbank Super Series. Back in the GTs, Rolf du Plessis going at it and having a little bit of a ding-dong battle of his own with Darren Goodman. So championship rivals at the front end of this field, as always.
Goodman's also carrying a bit of damage. You can see the front right hand of the Indigo Boats Corvette has been pranked the whole way through, but there's no sign of Larry Wolford, and that's a big story because the next car down the road is Sartori.
So Larry Wolford, I think, coming together with Des Goodsight, the two of them having a little bit of a touch somewhere on the circuit. Here's the battle for third place on the road. Wolford sneaks up the inside of Dimitar. Dimitar tries to close the door. Can he make it stick? Oh, they get absolutely side by side, but the Italian Stallion got much better drive coming out of Cape Town corner, and will hang on for a couple more corners.
Terry was good on the brakes there, but he couldn't get the drive done, and I think he's a bit concerned about the yellows under the rest of the track, but he's definitely got the pace, and in the last 3 laps has really closed things down on the Stallion. So the Stallion has obviously got some tyre or handling problems, but the Mustang is holding it together.
Just picked up on Larry Wolford in the background there, so he's still circulating. I think Des Goodsight is also still circulating. We'll have to wait and see till the end of the race when the checkered flag comes out which one of those GT cars have managed to outdo each other. Right now it's the battle for third place we're watching on the road, and the Varta Batteries machine taking on that Fuchs Titan Mustang.
This is a nice drive to see. I mean, the Stallion has been consistent the whole way through the year, but it's been a good end of the season for Wilford. Coming down into Cape Town corner for the last time, I think it is, Donnie Correa Jr. still leads out. Jaco happy to take second place. As long as he's ahead of Brandon, he's a happy man.
Well, he knows that Brandon Orby's on the sideline, which is probably why he's given up the little battle between himself and Donnie. Although that is going to close things down. The checkered flag comes out. Larry Wolford getting an ailing Mustang back to the pits, but it is Liqui Moly Corvettes 1 and 2, and they're going to be happy about that performance.
We've seen them do that before, but we've never seen them do that when both of the ELT Jaguars have been parked on the side. So good luck, bad luck situation, really going to turn this championship around.
Confirmation of the results in the top 10 there. We're looking at Donnie Correa Jr. taking the victory from his brother. Terry Wolford eventually won out the battle between himself and Frank Dimitar, and Ben Morganhout survived to 5th.
In the GT category, Des Goodsight takes another victory. That's going to help out his championship. Goodman's was there, du Plessis, Wolford limping at home in 5th.
A happy Donnie Correa gets out the car. We got hold of him after the race.
Donnie, this is becoming a habit, dude. You looked fired up this morning and you delivered.
Yeah, no, like I said this morning, the car's feeling great. I had an awesome start. I think on the second lap I managed to pass Dion at the back straight, and then I dived on the inside of Brandon and I just kept it low and he came down, and unfortunately we touched. But from then on it was clear tracks and the car felt great. So yeah.
Jaco, smooth drive from your brother and aggressive driving from you.
Yeah, well, it was a great race from him. I watched him all the way from the start. Tried to keep up with him, but some corners I weren't able to do that. Still struggling a little bit with the power steering, and I think the second or third lap I touched someone and my toe went out, so I was struggling through Malmesbury. But tried everything to stay with Donnie, and we got another first and second.
Terry, best drive of the year out of you so far, 3rd place, but it probably feels like a win to you.
Yeah, you know, it's just an awesome feeling. I mean, we built this new car. It's 2 races old, and yeah, definitely get into grips with it. I'm sure we can improve as time goes on. But great race, lots of carnage and spins and avoiding cars. I think I was in the grass for about 200 meters trying to get around cars that were facing the other way. And besides that, just a great race.
Brandon, championship leader coming into this round. First heat, tell me what happened.
Oh, we had it was a bit of a rough first heat, I would say. We went out and I got a gap first lap, and then after that something happened. I don't know what happened, but something happened and the car was all over the show. And my dad managed to get me, and then Donnie followed my dad through. Me and Yoko had a bit of a tussle. The car was slipping and sliding at the back all the way through, and then I came down to the bottom of the straight. I was still in third, and I went in, and Donnie went in on my dad, and he clipped the back of my dad and spun him around, and I honestly had nowhere to go. He was in the middle of the track, and I tagged my dad, and not tagged him, hit him quite hard. And the front of the car's a bit buggered. Hopefully we can get it right for the second race. Both cars are out in the race. We'll see, hopefully we can make the second race.
Darren, you've been super consistent this whole year. That's why we've been tagging you, but every now and again you go out and pull some strong results. Second place, that'll do.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage, any result will do, but yeah, it was great. We had a great start. Unfortunately, the lady drivers lost it on turn one, coming out of turn one. Got the car a bit sideways. Desi was on the inside, nowhere to go, so I clipped her. A little bit of damage to the front of the car, but hung in there. Yeah, a couple of laps later, I saw Larry starting to slow down, and Rolf had a bit of a problem and managed to get past them both. Desi, unfortunately, was out of there, but we'll see what happens in the second heat.
Des, I know I overuse this phrase, but it was a race of attrition out there. If you could survive, you could win.
Yeah, definitely. This was a race with a lot of challenges. My car was strong, the Desi car went well, but I think it was the first or the second corner. I think our first corner, Claire lasted a bit, and I managed to get past her, and then I put my foot down and I just kept going, and eventually I saw Larry in my sights, and I kept my foot down, and I got past Larry as well. And then, of course, Vicky was in front of me, and I stayed behind her a couple of laps, and I managed to get past her about the sixth lap or so, yes, and then I was out there, and I just kept the pedal down, and I didn't stop.
Race 2 is going to see all kinds of changes. The ELT boys pretty much MacGyvering one car out of two. Essentially, Brandon is in Dion's car. Dion getting into Vicky Kemp's car. So it's kind of all change at the front.
Terry Wolford will lead them out with Ben Morgan alongside. Watch out for Brandon Orby coming on early. Oh, just sneaking through on Dan. Nearly taking the Vixen racing car out. Had to tap out of that one, but Terry Wolford gets the whole shot. Wade Van Zimmerman, the two youngsters at the front, and another one just on their tail. So it's all action from the start.
Terry's in line for a really stellar weekend. He walked away with a third place in race number one. Somehow the maths worked out good for him that he lined up and he had a chance to go for the win. He has got pole position right now, coming in the halfway mark of lap number one. But look at Wade Van Zimmerman. He's not going to give him an easy ride for sure.
He is hassling the back end of Terry Wolford. You can see they've repaired the front end of that car, and he's back into the action. Here comes Jaco though, late on the brakes into Malmstreet. This should be good if he can make it stick. He does. Those Goodyear tyres will be crying, saying, how can you push me that hard?
That is a strong move, man. Coming into Malmesbury up the inside of a V8. Both these guys would have been all kinds of out of shape, and you can see the effect that it's had on Wade Van Zimmerman. It's already closed up, allowed Ben Morgenroot to close things up on him.
Frank and Mateo just behind him, so the two Jags going to be going at it too, just into 4 and 5 on the road. Donny Correa Jr. leading out the GTs as Rolf Duplessis. Des Goodside there in second, and you can see how difficult Brandon Orby is finding that new car. It's not the way he likes it set up. It'll be slightly different, and he's battling to get through the field.
Well, he had terminal damage on his race car. There was problems on the back end of Dion's car, so the thing is not going to be perfect. It's going to be loose, and it's going to take him a couple of laps to feel how it's going to actually handle.
Onto the braking markers, they're going to engine corner, braking hard around the outside. Terry Wolford will hold on to that inside line, but Yaku should get better drive. He does. He gets right onto the back end of that Hot Wheels Mustang, and it looks as if Terry Wolford is going to have to play the defensive role almost all the way around the circuit.
I know, talking to Yako, his power steering faded towards the end of the first race. Hopefully he's holding together now, but we know, we've seen him drive so many times without power steering. He can take it to the front. It's just a little bit more tiring, that's all.
That's for sure. A lot more tiring, I'd have to say. Onto the back straight now. Let's see if they can get up to 280 k's an hour into the slipstream. This is exactly what Yaku is. In fact, he's gone even earlier than what I thought. He's alongside Terry Wolford. Onto the brakes into Cape Town. He should have this. He's got the inside line. There's the white line. Terry will have to back out of it and go into second.
Both drivers behaving themselves, but once again, Terry has got the perfect setup on the Mustang, and he's happy to go around the outside, and he almost lost that though. If Wade Benson had have just touched him, he'd have gone looping out.
Good driving from both the youngsters. Ben Morgan, who's sitting in 4th place. Best seat in the house with a little battle that's happening in front of him. Then we see Rolf Duplessis still leading out in the GT category. Here comes Van Zimmerman, late on the brakes, into turn 1, West Bank corner, and into second place. But Terry Wolford will have the outside line going into engine. He gets forced wide a little bit though, and tucks into third to go defensive on Ben.
There was a chance for Terry to stay in it, stay planted, and get the line up the inside of this one, but there's also a chance of the back end flicking out. So he thought discretion, the better part of valor, slotting into third place, and he's just got to stay ahead of Ben and the Vata Batteries Jaguar of the Stallion. This is a hard dice for Terry in third.
There's Ben Morgan looking for a way through Damstip. You're not normally going to find it in a V8. That's very difficult. In fact, this is exactly where Ben Morgan and the Vata Batteries car came together earlier on the season. This time, not quite the same thing happening, but in the background, sounds like plenty action. Yes, indeed. Up the inside goes Ben Morgan and takes Terry Wolford.
Yeah, those guys turned into each other. They've been very aware of that, and unfortunately, Terry, the meat in the sandwich this time. And it's good to see in the background, Rolf and Des dicing it out and just hanging on to the coattails of these guys, but they're leading the GT category. Terry comes back.
Terry comes back, but the other one in the background, look who's just behind these other two Jaguars. All of a sudden, Brandon Orby is in the fray. He's up onto the back end of the Italian Stallion and probably won't even wait to get to West Bank corner before he tries an out-braking maneuver. You can see that Franco saw him coming, went defensive onto the inside line. But will he get better drive coming out of West Bank corner now? Let's see whether or not Brandon Orby can get the SKF Jag ahead of that Vata Batteries Jaguar.
So we've got Liqui Moly number 1. That is the 10 car of Yako Correa and his brother parked on the side. So Donny Correa Jr., the winner of the first heat, parking on the side. That's very unfortunate because they could have had the perfect weekend.
Let's see whether or not he can make it the perfect weekend for Yako Correa and get closer to the lead that Brandon Orby has in this championship. Remember, it's the two Orbys that lead out. They're in different cars in this heat. Brandon is in Dion's machine. There's Larry. Oh no, Larry Wolford with a problem in the Mustang. That is going to be costly in this championship for GT category.
You know, he was down in 5th place. He really just limped that thing home at the end of heat number 1. And to have to park it, that's going to drop him down in the championship, which pretty much hands the lead to Goodmans.
Let's see whether or not Goodmans can actually finish up in the top 3. That'll just extend his lead over what is Rolf Duplessis and Des Goodside, who are currently 1 and 2 on the road in the GT category.
So we're watching the 3rd place dice, and we're watching to see if this man, the number 3 ELT Jaguar of Brandon Orby, the man that came into this round leading the championship, we're going to see how far he can climb his way up the ladder.
He's up on the inside of the Stallion, and that's 1 car down, maybe even 2. Whoa, nearly even 2. He had a big look on the inside of Ben Morganhood. Morganhood saw him coming very late and just slammed the door shut.
Van Zimmerman still hanging on for his best finish so far. If he can maintain this, this will be the highest finish from the Coastal man.
It'd be awesome to see him go to his home circuit of East London with a 2nd place and possibly even a 1st. That'll just boost his confidence for the home crowd that he's going to be supporting and giving support to. These guys absolutely hauling the nothing in it. Look at Brandon Orby hassling Ben Morganhood. He's not going to make it easy, and Morganhood, whoa, sideways stuff from Orby.
I think Brandon's really got his head around the handling characteristics of this Franken car that they've put together, and hopefully he can make it count when it comes to the braking marker. The braking marker we're talking about is trying to get up the inside of the white line on Ben Morganhood down into Cape Town corner. This is where it's going to happen.
Oh, Morganhood goes on the inside of Terry Wolford, and may even sneak up to third place. Wolford has gone wide. Yes, he's gone wide big time. And Morgan is going to sneak through. Terry Wolford making an uncustomary mistake coming out there. You can see he can hold that outside line. But here comes Brandon Orby. He's going to go now. He'll go into the inside. Terry Wolford sees him coming. Shuts the door. He goes defensive. But how much longer can he hold on? Not much. There comes the ELT Jag on the inside of the Fuchs Titan Mustang. And Terry Wolford is going to be bumped down one more position because that is a very strong move from Orby.
Wolford just got moved out wide when he made the mistake himself going out wide into Cape Town corner. Morgan Rood had the line up the inside. Brandon, always a very clever driver. He just followed suit and went through with him.
Ben Morgan up to third place. Brandon Orby has a look on the inside into Engine. Whoa, that was close. There was definitely an opportunity to sneak through there. But once again, the wily old fox in third place. Ranfantine Rocket has shown the way around for the youngsters.
Even though Jaco Correa is leading this race, he hasn't checked out just yet. The top 5 cars are still separated by just over a second.
Certainly are. There's nothing in it, Matt. That's how awesome this V8 Supercar racing has been almost all season. We've seen a couple of double victories where they've run away, but sometimes on the tighter circuits like Killarney, Swartkops is one of them, Pakis is one of them. That's where these cars really come together and have a great dice.
Second place is up for grabs. Van Zimmeren just couldn't decide which line to go on to cover the line because Ben Morganrood, all of a sudden with the pressure that he's got from Brandon Orby, he's got some urgency in his driving as well. And the Ranfantine Rocket is on a flyer. He's in third right now, but he's got a chance to get through up into second.
Brandon Orby is sitting in fourth place. He'll be thinking to himself, well, if I stay in fourth place, it'll really keep me at the lead of this championship. I wanted to wrap it up down here in Cape Town. I'm going to have to wait. There's a move into third place. So maybe I was talking rubbish. Commentator's curse there. And Brandon Orby just shows me exactly that I'm talking complete twaddle.
It just catches. Brandon's good at catching the guys car watching. What I mean by that is Ben Morganrood was watching the brake markers, watching Wade Van Zimmeren up the front, not covering his own lines, and just all of a sudden up the inside, late on the brakes, and that's what Brandon Orby is super hot at. He just slid through in turn 1.
So the younger drivers now 1, 2, and 3 on the road. Then it's Ben Morganrood. Another youngster behind him is Terry Wolford. Wolford pushing him to the limit. I think he's going to push him right down to the wire. The Vata Batteries car. Oh no! Rolf Duplessis out! He was leading the GTs.
So Larry's out, Rolf is out, that leaves Goodmans and Des. Those are the championship contenders still out on the track, and we've had a lot of carnage at this race.
I think Des Goodsight might be leading this little battle in the GTs as you see Brandon making another move and goes to second. So what a great bit of driving there. Wade Van Zimmeren opening up the door a little bit too much. You don't do that when you've got Brandon Orby on your tail.
You can see Terry Wolford has worked very hard in the early stages, probably cooked his tyres a bit too much because he's now starting to drop off this battle, and he's in danger of the Stallion taking him as well. In fact, Stallion was up the inside there.
Well, Barry Fenn from Goodyear did say that at the closing stages of Heat 2, the tyres were going to start giving a little bit of fun. It looks like they're starting to slip and slide. You can see these guys are having to work even harder than they have all of these 2 races to keep the cars on the black stuff.
Wolford is blown out the back of this bunch, unfortunately, so as far as the leading Super GT categories go, Wolford is the last, Jaco is the first.
So they come flying through the kink down towards Damstip. Only a couple of laps to go. Big Sassel flames up the side of this car. In fact, out of the side of Wade Van Zimmeren's car. Looks like a bit of damage there. I think there might just be a little bit of tape from when they taped up and redid. Oh, there's Dion Orby going into the pit lane. So the Vixen Racing Jaguar doesn't seem to be finishing. And it's not the kind of machinery that Dion Orby wanted for this race.
So that's Dion Orby, second place in the championship, or he was coming into this round. Jaco is going to really be able to climb his way up the ladder. In fact, if Jaco stays where he is because of Dion parking on the side, Jaco is going to now move up into second place for the first time in many races.
So going down to 2 rounds to go after this race is completed, Jaco Correa will be in second place and now looking to close down. I'm not quite sure if he's got enough time and races in hand, and it'll have to be very bad luck for Brandon Orby to see Jaco Correa take and steal the championship away from Brandon Orby.
Yeah, mathematically on paper it can still happen, but it'd have to be something catastrophic to happen to the leading ELT man.
Well, he's in second place right now. That's exactly where he needs to be. If he can't beat him, he must be just behind him so that he doesn't lose too much ground to the man who's going to take the victory away. Third place, what a drive from Wade Van Zimmeren. Probably is one of his best of the season. In fact, probably his best of the season. And right behind him, Ben Morganrood, as always, consistent.
Yeah, he took the words out of my mouth. I'm really impressed with Wade Van Zimmeren's drive. Another one of those drivers that has come good at the end of the season, and it's going to be great to see him, like you said, Greg, carry on this form going down to his home track.
Gets onto the brakes and keeps Ben Morganrood very honest. In fact, Morganrood looks like he's tapped out of this one. He's going to be happy with third place. He's just decided that I think Wade Van Zimmeren is going to be a little bit better than him. He gets better drive out there on the Jag, and the Mustang is just going to hang on for dear life.
I was going to say, Ben's not great down into the braking markers of Cape Town, but the drive coming out of it, there's very few that can beat him.
GT category is led out by Des Goodside. We picked up on that after the demise of Rolf Duplessis and Larry Wolford. This man's going to take another victory here today, and that is just going to cement some championship points for him that are really crucial at this time of the year.
Yeah, he had a couple of mistakes at SWAT Cops, but on the big track, the other guys in the championship have just parked their cars on the side, and I just can't understand what happens when we come down to Cape Town. We either pick up punches on just about all the cars, or there's crashes left, right and centre.
Well, Larry Wolford has had dismal luck down here in Cape Town. A couple of seasons ago we saw some big crashes, big flames out of the car as well. Not the Sasol flames that are burning at the front end. And this man has not been better since he's got to this front. Jaco Correa, with only a couple of corners to go, is going to make it another victory and close down on Brandon Orby.
You know, the Liqui crew are going to be stoked. Race number 1 was a victory for Donnie Correa Jr., a second place for Jaco. Race number 2 is going to be a victory for Jaco. Bittersweet, slightly, because Donnie's parked on the side, but they're going to be happy for the team in overalls.
Third place is going to go to Van Zimmerman. Brandon Orby, great drive from the back in a spare car, or the, as you said, MacGyvered car. Got it all together. The checkered flag comes out though, 1 and 2 across the line. Quite a way ahead of the third place man, but it is going to be Des Goodside who will take the GT category just in between the Super GT cars.
Jaco will be happy with that victory. He won't be happy to look in his mirrors and see Brandon though. He would like to see him a few more places back.
Des Goodside coming across the line there to take the victory in the GT category ahead of Clairval in the Gatorback Ram Ford Mustang.
Confirmation of the results in the Super GTs. Jaco Correa over Brandon Orby, Wade Van Zimmerman, Ben Morganrud and the Italian stallion Frankie Di Matteo.
GT category, it was Des Goodside taking the victory as we saw Darren Goodmans in second, Sartori in third, Rolf Duplessis eventually finishing up in fourth after nursing his car home, and Wolford with a DNF.
So a win for both of the brothers. That's going to be comfortable driving back.
Wade, great to see you back at the top, man. You obviously love the Cape Town track.
Thanks, yes. Cape Town track is very nice. We worked hard on the car, so we tried hard and had a good race this time.
It's been a physical year for you, man. A lot of knocking and barging going on in the mid-pack.
Yes, I had a lot of bad luck, but hopefully it changes now.
So, Brandon, how many more laps do you think you needed, brother?
1 or 2, I think. It was closing slightly smaller and smaller every lap. Fought the way through, I think, by passing the guys and going in late. I cooked the tyres, and then towards the end I lost a bit of grip, but almost had him. At least I got the points in the bag there. First race, we went out there in my dad's car because my car wasn't bent all chassis the first session, so we had to, the first race, we had to MacGyver the cars between another and swap cars, so I had to adjust to the car and I had to adjust to the conditions, and we did pretty well. We finished in second. That's all we need for the championship to bag the points, so I'm pretty happy.
Jaco, a win for Donnie, a win for you. It's going to be a pretty easy drive home to Welcome.
Yeah, yes, it's actually, we didn't expect a weekend like that because we were struggling with all sorts of things and practice and qualifying and all that. Donnie had a good weekend, the whole weekend. Practice, qualifying was excellent. Just a pity I see he was off, so I don't know what happened there. But the cars are getting there.
For your side as well, we know you're sitting down in second place in the championship. You desperately need as many points as you can get in the bag, and this will have helped.
Yeah, definitely. Not enough yet. Brandon got up to second now, which is an excellent drive from him. But we'll take all the points we can get.
There's second race here at Cape Town, the reverse grid. You came to the front there, and that's going to give you a huge bunch of points in the championship.
Yes, I'm sure it's going to do that. The reverse grid was a little bit different here in Cape Town. As you know, I started in 8th position, so there was 1 or 2 GT cars, Super GTs behind me, and gave me quite a good position to start. And we gave it horns from the word go.
You see the rest of the guys out there obviously battling. Larry's had a stinker of a day, man.
Yeah, I feel sorry for him. He came here well prepared, and I think, I don't know if he finished the second race. I didn't know. He was behind me, but I'm sure better luck next time, but I had a good ride.
Rolf also, his car wasn't sounding dead right. Goodmans is still there though. Goodmans came in second place, so he's going to be on you.
Yeah, Goodmans is on me. He's driving well as well, and his car's going well. And yes, I stuck to the back of Rolf for about 5 or 6 laps, and then I saw afterwards that he was driving hard, but I was catching him up slowly, and I think his car backfired in one of the corners, and I got past him at the speed, and then it was home and dry.
Darren, everyone else crashes, everyone else brakes, but the Indigo cars and Boat's car just keeps going.
Matt, look, it's been a good weekend at the end of the day. I've got a bit of damage from the first race, but we fortunately, the Correas needed a new nose cone, and they needed the left and I needed the right, so we split the cone and got the cars fixed. Second heat was a little bit boring towards the end. My power steering belt came off, so I couldn't catch Desi. He disappeared into the distance again. But yeah, in terms of the championship, I think it's going to look great. Larry had a problem, Rolf finished behind us, so I think it's going to go down to the wire at this stage.
2 rounds to go in this championship, and there's only 40 points up for grabs. It's a 27-point lead that Brandon Albee has over Jaco Correa. Dion Albee scoring no points at this round. That is crucial. Can he make up ground in East London?
In the GT category, when you review the points, it's Des Goodside 4 points off the front of Darren Goodman's. Larry Wolford needs to step up the pace and take the wins to get back on top.
Hi, I'm Larry Wolford, driver of the Fuchs Titan Midas Motorsport Mustang. See you on the 30th of October at the East London Circuit. Come feel the power.
To stay in the loop, log on to westbanksuperseries.co.za.
That's a wrap for the Westbank V8 Supercars. Next up is the Interfile Superbikes as well as the Formula Volkswagen Championship. I'm Gugu, see you next time.